Well, hello. Once again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in to Fingerprint of Marriage on behalf of Bishop Kevin Carter and Joshua Possessing the Promise International Ministries. Once again, this is B. My name is Jonathan Penny and my wife, Brandy Penny. As I said before, we talked about communication for the last several weeks. We're going to switch it up a little bit. Today, we're going to talk about the couple checkup. Amen. Let's get into this. The couple checkup. Let's go to Psalms 37, verse 25. Psalms 37, verse 25.
And it reads, I have been young and now am old. Yet I have seen the righteous forsaken. Yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his descendants begging bread.
Alright. Now the first half of that verse says, now I have been young and now I'm old. Now right there, when it says, I have been young, now I'm old. We've all been young before, right? We've all experienced life when we was younger, lived life differently. We was up under our parents' teachings, up under our parents' ways, very immature, wanted to be with the in crowd, going to school. It was a totally different life. Than we are now. But now we've gotten older. And now that we've gotten older, we've been mature, we have a different perspective of life. We're taller. Some of us gain weight, lost weight, hair loss, gain hair, all type of stuff. So there's a difference between being young and being old. There's changes that comes along with that. We're all born as babes, and then we grow into adulthood. And within that process, there's experiences with life that goes along. There's baggage picked up. A lot of issues that have to be dealt with and so forth. So when you're growing, you have to understand that there's a lot of changes that comes along with life. And just as us, our relationships are constantly changing as well. Our relationships is experiencing issues just as we did when we was younger. As your relationship grow, you experience more together. You grow together. You grow together. You become stronger together. But that's one thing we've got to realize, that our relationship is never the same. Our relationship is not the same as it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Relationships grow just as we grow. And as we grow, we need to nurture that relationship just as we nurture our own bodies. Nurture our own kids. When my wife had our babies, it took a lot to make sure that they stayed healthy. In and out of hospitals, ear infection, getting the right formula, diapers, all these things. And our marriages need to be treated the same way, because they're constantly changing. They're never going to stay the same. I believe a lot of times that's our problem. We expect for our marriages to stay the same. And that's where conflict and disappointments and so forth comes along, because we expect for our marriage to stay the same way as it was in the very beginning. And that's not going to happen, because it has life issues to deal with. It has conflict to go through. There's moments of learning. The Bible said that there's nothing new under the sun, but there's seasons for everything. And your marriage has to go through these seasons, just as we do, from a young person to an older person. Amen?
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about these changes and how to deal with these changes, because the purpose of this lesson here is to talk about the couple checkup. Even when you're younger, we have our kids, they got to go for checkups. If they don't get their shots, the school put the kids out. They got the rights to put the kids out. Their shots ain't updated. So just think about your marriage. If your marriage is constantly growing, and you're not keeping the right checkup on your marriage, how are you going to grow together? How are you going to understand each other? Yesterday is not the same thing as going to happen today. How are you going to deal with today based on yesterday? It's a continuously learning process. And a lot of this material that we got came from Prepare Enrich curriculum. The couple checkup book, also the workbook from Prepare Enrich that we share at our workshops. So a lot of this material we have available for you. You just have to contact us, okay? Or either attend one of the workshops. So let's move on. Let's go to Proverbs 4. Proverbs 4. And we're going to look at verse 7.
And it says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom. And in all you're getting, get understanding. And this is the New King James Version.
Right, okay. Now, it's important to get information about your relationship as a couple at this moment. Because the Bible says wisdom is the principal thing. Now, in order to get wisdom, that's something you have to seek after. Therefore, get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding.
Right.
So, like I said, it is important to get information about your relationship as a couple at this moment. Why is that? Because your relationship is constantly changing. Okay, I know some of y'all are like, well, okay, why do I need to constantly learn my relationship at this moment? When is it going to change? Because you never understand the future of your relationship if you don't understand your relationship at this moment. So no matter what's going on, you have to seek out some information about your relationship. Get a better understanding of your relationship at this moment. Okay, why is this happening at this time? What is it that I need to learn about my spouse at this time? Because whatever information that you get about your relationship today is going to better you for your future when it comes to your relationship. Amen. So my wife is not the same person as she's not the same person I married when we got married, but she got wiser, she got better, she got smarter, and I wouldn't understand none of that if I didn't take the time to understand my relationship during them times. Because then now I just look at it like, man, who are you? You know, what happened to the lady that I married? Not realizing that the experiences that we went through, you know, our hard times, our ups and downs, our conflicts actually molded us into who we are now. So whatever it is your marriage is going through today, it's important for you to gain that wisdom or that understanding of your relationship at that moment. So then next month you have a better understanding of your relationship because of the experiences that you guys went through. And it's very important because we never take time to learn our marriage. We just expect that we just assume that we're going to get into a marriage and then everything's going to be beautiful. That's not going to happen. The moment you get married, that's when you really see changes because now you're not just focused on yourself, but you focus on someone else. And then when you begin to have children, you're really going to see some differences then because now you focus on a whole household. But it's very important to get understanding about your relationship at this moment.
Amen.
Now, you cannot abandon your search for understanding once you begin, no matter how difficult the road may become. So when it comes to seeking understanding about your marriage today, of course you're going to come across some type of obstacles because something's going to come across. You may not be able to understand it. You know, it's going to be frustrating, maybe irritable. You know, it may pull out some sides of you that you forgot that was even there. But the purpose of this is to better you for your marriage. You can't just give up. You can't just throw in the towel because certain circumstances come around in your marriage at that particular moment. You know, you gotta dig your heels in and actually seek out that moment. Learn from it. You know what I mean? Because if you give up on that moment and learning your marriage at that particular time, you give up on your marriage.
Right.
You give up on learning your spouse. You give up on learning your children. You give up on learning you. You give up on bettering your marriage. See, marriages are ordained by God to have a positive impact on the community. And if the marriages give up on each other within the household, then what impact do we have on the community? So it's very vital for you to, man, what was that Pastor Allen had said? Has to stick with it.
Stick with it.
Yeah, stick with it. You know what I mean? Being there for the long haul, but for the long road. You know what I mean? Learn much as you can about your marriage today. Don't worry about tomorrow.
And see, one of the things that had me be a believer of Christ is His Word. And His Word say all things work together for the good. So if you could just hold on to that while you go through to come out, you'll have a prosperous marriage. You're going to go through to come out, but just believe that it's going to work for your good. What you're going through is going to better you later. It's gonna better your relationship later if you just continue to hold on and continue to work out the kinks and just continue. It's gonna work for your good. And you just have to believe that. You have to have hope in that. Amen.
Amen. Because the more you learn about your marriage, man, the better you become. But the thing is, we give up when it comes to learning our marriages. Amen. Man, like I said, stick your heel in the mud and just continue to learn. When we're on road trips, when you go on a road trip, you always come across something along the road. It ain't never a smooth ride. It may start off smooth, but then you come across road constructions, you come across road kill, you come across a bunch of bugs, all type of stuff. So no matter what road you're on, as we spoke before, we was talking about the river. You get the surface of a river seems smooth, but man, up under that river, man, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of changes going on. There's a lot of rocks being moved. Now, if you follow that river to the very end, then you see things that the river has built. It could be trees laid on top of each other, or boulders or rocks laid on top of each other. So it started off smooth, but once you get down a little further, man, you see a lot of obstacles being built. Man, you see the rivers being split and so forth. And that's what happens with our marriage. We're not paying attention to the path or the road that your marriage is on, not actually learning it, not actually understanding what's going on. You begin to split. So now you have two different perspectives, two different ideas, two different views. And once that happens, the enemy has done his job. He separated the household. Why? Because he didn't take that moment to learn your marriage. You didn't take that moment to understand your wife. You didn't take that moment to gather as much information and wisdom or understanding as you can about your marriage at that moment to better your relationship for the future. Amen. Now, relationships are living, growing, dynamic entities, and it needs to be nurtured. Now, like I was saying, we was talking about earlier, man, we started off as babes, then we became adults. Man, your marriage is the same way. Mm-hmm. An entity is anything pretty much living or growing. And your marriage is a living and growing body, pretty much. Man, the moment you guys say once you guys commit to that covenant of being married to death do us part, man, that birth is that marriage has been born. And the moment that marriage is born, that's when both of you have to nurture that thing. Man, you have to feed it. You have to take care of it. You have to bathe it. You have to, change it. You have to check up on it, man. You have to, take it to school, man. You have to nurture your marriage just as you would nurture a living baby, a newborn baby. You understand? I'm sorry.
You might think it's a lot that you have to put into it. You know what I mean? Which it is. What you put in is what you're going to get out. So what type of marriage do you want? You have to put in work. You have to. You don't put in no work. I mean, it's just with our children. You got to put in work. They just not going to change their own Pampers. They just not going to feed themselves. It's a season, in the beginning where you have to nurture the children. And then as they grow up, you could fall back a little bit because you already instilled the nurturing. Yes, you still nurture. You know what I mean? But yes, you're going to put some work in it. It's going to be some work. But it's going to be worth it towards later. Put the work in now and, start now. So then your later can be greater.
Amen. Women is going for education for marriage. I mean, we got teachings from our own bishop. We got teachings from the ARC. And at the moments we needed that extra nurturing. And they sold into us. And by them nurturing us, rubbing us, molding us, feeding us, making sure we can walk right, when it came to applying biblical principles into our marriage, and then now they can, like you said, now they can actually sit back and just watch us walk. Right. And now here we are, now we're adults in this thing, we're not perfect, we still have our conflicts and our issues as well, but we know how to handle them better, and now we're able to teach others. And that's the purpose of Fingerprint of Marriage, is to build disciples within households so that couples can walk together in agreement and actually teach our community how to survive and how important God's word is and how to love each other. Amen. But a marriage can never do that if you never take a moment to understand your marriage. learn your marriage and allow it to grow. Now, I got another scripture we're going to go to. I cheated on this one. Amos, chapter 3.
Amos.
That's how you pronounce Amos?
Amos.
Chapter 3, verse 3.
You cheated.
I know. That's a book nobody goes to.
I've read Amos a few times. And listen, here we go right here.
Oh, okay.
What is it?
Chapter 3, verse 3.
So what do you mean by cheated? He had it already marked in his Bible because it's quick to go.
See, yeah, while she was talking, I went on ahead and did that. Alright, so, and it says, Amos, however you want to pronounce it. Chapter 3, verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? So, couples are to prepare for marriage. You know, when it comes to this covenant, this marital covenant, two shall be in agreement. You know what I mean? To death do you part. There's a covenant. You both agree that you're going to look after each other. You both agree that you're going to be there for each other. You know what I mean? You both agree that you're going to look after the needs of one another. You know what I mean? So when you both come to that agreement, that's when the covenant is birthed. That's when the marriage is birthed. And that's when you both have to begin nurturing, doing your part in nurturing that relationship. Amen? And when it comes to relationship, there's different type of relationship that needs to be nurtured. There's different type of relationships that needs an agreement of two people to participate in. And we're going to go through these different relationships. Just to let y'all know that we're not just here for married couples or divorced couples. We're here for any couple, no matter if you're dating, you're cohabiting, or whatever it is. God has something for everybody. God can work with anybody. The only thing is moving towards that next step and doing things the righteous way. Amen. So when it comes to dating couples, the characteristics that make for a good date are not necessarily the characteristics that make a good mate. So when you're dating, you know, like I said, when the Bible says, when two shall come to agreement, pretty much, right? So when you're dating and that date is the best date you ever had in your life, right? But that does not mean that's the right mate for you. You know, you may come into agreement on that date, but do you actually come to an agreement within the relationship? I mean, just because the date seems so awesome, just because a date was the perfect date, the once in a lifetime moment, you need to be sure that that's the right person. And the only way for you to make sure that that is the right person is for you to gather understanding of that relationship. Not the date, but the relationship at that moment. Where do y'all lie? What is your position within the relationship? Are y'all in agreement to moving forward, or are y'all in agreement for just that moment?
Right.
You know, and that's why it's important to get understanding at that moment, because at that moment you really learn will there be a future for a relationship at that moment? If not, then that's up to you. If you want to waste your time or you want to keep it going, it's totally up to you. Everybody got their own choices. But when you take time to learn that relationship at that moment where you're dating, you can see clear. You have a better understanding of where that relationship is going. But don't get so distracted by the date. Sometimes when dates have us confused, like, oh, this is the perfect woman. But then 2 months down the road, you'll be like, man, who are you?
Right. And to get an understanding is what? Asking questions. Asking the right questions. Probing. You know, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to dig deep, especially if this is who you think you want to be with.
Right.
You know, and if you don't know you want to be with them, then I mean, in your mind, if you like, it's just going to be a one night stand or this is just going to be somebody I play with, just know what you're doing. You know what I mean? If you want this to be your lifetime partner, then you need to get an understanding, get some questions answered, ask the right questions, see what this person's mind is, where they want to be. Ask up front, do you want children? Do you want to be married? Ask those serious questions. Like, don't be afraid so you know what you're going to do with your life, so you get an understanding. Ask those questions. Don't just wait it out and hope they're gonna answer or just give you some information. Get an understanding. And I'd rather get an understanding in the beginning than towards the end, you know. Why waste 6 months of your life when the person clearly don't have the same goals as you or have the same ambitions as you or, you know, don't have the same understanding. Get an understanding.
Yeah, you have not because you asked not.
Right.
The Bible clearly says, like you said, in all thy getting, get understanding. And the best place to start is during the dating time.
The perfect place to start. I know I tried to scare my husband off, but we was dating. I laid it all on the line. I told him all my truths. I mean, I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm saying that's what I did because we gonna get an understanding right here. I'm lazy. You gonna get that understood right now, and I'm working on it. I have been working on it, and it's still a work in progress, you know. But I laid that on the line up front, whether he listened or not. I did.
Right.
So.
And that's how we started off with communication. So while you're going through this process, man, practice that proper communication so you actually hear and know where a person stands. But within the dating couples, it's important to understand that for you not to get so caught up in the dating moment, but to actually understand your relationship. Don't get so distracted by that one night stand or the awesomeness of that one night. Gather understanding about your relationship. Now, we got about the dating couples. How about the engaged couples? Our engaged couples. Now, one thing I want y'all to know is that getting married is easy, but developing a healthy marriage is very challenging in our society. And when I mean our society, I mean the United States. About 50% of marriages in the United States end in divorce.
That's half.
And I was doing some research in it, and man, it's crazy how we're so easy to hop into a commitment, hop into a marriage, and then not stick it out. So that goes to show that it takes more work to stay in a marriage than it is to get in the marriage.
Yeah, I know, especially engaged people. I mean, you're so fascinated with the wedding gown, with the whole concept of a wedding more so than the marriage. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of women are, you know, want to walk down the aisle in that white dress that you've been dreaming about since you were a kid, you know, but are you thinking about what it's going to take to keep that? Yes, it's easy to get married. It's easy. But to stay married, it's work. And you got to be willing to work. You got to be willing to talk and communicate.
Now, engaged couples are those that's in the process of getting married. You haven't actually gotten married, but you're in the process of getting married. So while you're in the process of getting married, you still need to learn your relationship. You may feel you met the person of your lifetime. This is my soulmate, but do you really know that person? You got through the dating process. You got through the dating phase. Okay, you got past that one night stand or that awesome night or whatever, and you guys fell in love. But still, you still have to gain understanding of your marriage because you want to make sure that you're marrying the right person and for the right reason. You know what I mean? Study, get more understanding. Okay, exactly who you are. What am I getting into? Because you're about to move in with each other. How do each other live? What is each other's perspective of life? You know what I mean? You're in the process of spending your life with the same person for the rest of your life.
You know, another question is, am I willing to deal with my mate's flaws? You know, am I willing to deal with their pet peeves? You know, like one incident me and John just had, and it drives him crazy. Like, I just don't like locked doors. I hate sticking my keys and turning locked doors. I just don't like it. I don't know why I ain't figured it out, you know. So I ring the doorbell or I knock on the door so somebody can come open the door.
And she got her own keys.
He's like, you got your keys, and I'm like, well, all the doors locked. You know, like, I know it's crazy, but I'm just saying it's just what I am. I don't know. Maybe because growing up, my daddy didn't lock doors. All our doors was always open. I rarely had to use my key unless when nobody home. If somebody was home, our doors were open. So I guess maybe that's why. I don't know. I don't like, and I always got stuff in my hand. I got to dig in my purse to find my keys. I don't like it. But, you know, my husband, he got to lock every door, 5 locks on doors. You know, well, I feel like you going to come and open the door then. You know, and it's still a little argument, but, you know, it is what it is. I don't like locked doors.
But that's from understanding each other's different perspectives, how the differences, how we grew up. I grew up and we had locked doors. Me and locked doors, somebody's creeping in our house.
Right. And
Me, I was the type of person, if you didn't lock your door, I was creeping in your house. So that's the differences of how we grew up. Me, man, I got locked doors because I don't trust nobody walking in my house. They didn't have to lock doors, so they had that free will.
We had neighbor love. Our neighbors came over. Our community came over. I mean, yeah, so we have an open door policy. Everybody's welcome to our house. So, yeah, you're right. It's an upbringing thing.
Not in our neighborhood. Your TV cover missing, your refrigerator is empty, all your beer and your liquor gone.
Yeah. You see, so it's get an understanding, get an understanding.
Alright, so we talked about couples that's dating, and we talked about engaged couples. Now, how about premarital couples? Now, premarital couples, premarital counseling, coaching, and education are investments in your relationship's future. Investments you should not risk to pass up. Okay, so you got past the dating, you got past the engagement, and now you're actually married. You're in your honeymoon stage right now.
I was going to ask was premarital.
Yeah, premarital. Then married couples. Premarital is pretty much okay. You're just now in the beginning phase. Then you become the married. You know what I mean? So now premarital is when you're actually right in the process. Okay, you're engaged. Engaged is when you marry me. Now we're working on this thing.
Right.
Premarital is right before you actually
jump down the aisle.
Right. It's right before you jump that broom. But before you jump that broom, man, you want to make sure you get counseling. You want to make sure you get some type of education. You want to know exactly how are you to operate as a married couple. You know what I mean? So now that you got all this understanding about your spouse and your soon-to-be spouse and how they live and their perspectives of life. Now, how much understanding do you have about your relationship together as a whole, as a couple? How are you going to operate as a unit? How much of a benefit are you for your spouse and your spouse a benefit for you?
The roles you guys both should be in.
Exactly.
Role, who do what, that type of situation.
Yeah, your strengths, your weaknesses,
right.
Differences in communicating. Man, that's why we said marriages are something that continuously grows, something that needs to be taken care of. Because each step along the way, there's different things that you need to do to make sure that you're building a healthy lifestyle. Remember, you're dating. Man, gather information about that person. Gather information about that person's lifestyle at that moment. And share yourself. Be vulnerable and expose yourself. Make sure that exchange each other's lives. Share a little bit of you with me. And then when you're engaged, then, now you're actually learning each other. How do you live? How do you do this? And, okay, how can I fit in that? How can I help you? And then when you're premarital, then when you're just about to make this happen, okay, how are we as a whole going to make this happen? Now that we got an understanding of each other's.
One finger.
Right. One fingerprint. So now that we got an understanding of each other's lives, how can we combine these two lives together and make one?
Right.
So there's a continuous learning process. You got to continuously get more understanding about your relationship, no matter what stage you're in. Now we got another one here, cohabiting couples. Cohabiting couples. As marriage rates have fallen, the number of U.S. adults in cohabiting relationships has continued to climb, reaching about 18 million in 2016. Can you believe that?
Yeah, so cohabiting is just us living together, not being married. We cohabit, shacking. What's another word for it? Shacking up, cohabiting, baby mama, baby daddy living together, raising a kid but not married. However you want to name it, it's living together, not being married. Point blank. That's cohabiting. Raising your kids together, sharing the rent, just sharing bills. It's easier for boyfriend and girlfriend to live together. Why be at two separate houses when we could be together, be in one house and pay all the bills together, leave some money in my pocket. However you want to look at it, it's still a cohabiting situation.
Roommates with benefits.
Roommates with benefits, yeah.
All right, so understanding your relationship will help you make a clear decision about how you both feel about your relationship. And it will encourage you to discuss the next steps in your relationship. So when you're cohabiting and you take that moment to understand your relationship, get some better understanding of how you both feel about each other, that will give you a clearer view of rather should you move forward or are you wasting your time, let it go. No, no.
Let it go.
Right.
Let it go.
So that I encourage those that's cohabiting, man, just don't enjoy the moment with each other because a lot of times we get caught up in that. We enjoy that moment, we enjoy the fun. No, man, evaluate that relationship, learn that relationship. Are you holding that person back from actually enjoying life, or are you holding your back from enjoying life? Man, evaluate it, and man, if you really love that person, take that step towards the next level. Now, married couples continuously learning your relationship enriches your marriage. Understanding your strengths and issues stimulates relationship dialogue. So married couples, man, after you got through all of this process, all of these stages, you still have to continuously learn how to live with your spouse, how to talk with your spouse, how to operate with your spouse, because even though you got through all of these stages, man, your marriage still has to survive life.
You still got to do checkups.
Yeah. Are you married just because of children or what? Whatever it is, continuously take time to learn in marriage. Amen. So what I want to do is I want to encourage everybody to participate in one of our workshops if you're in the Milwaukee area. We have marriage workshops every second Monday at Joshua Possessing and Promise International Ministries. If you're in the Milwaukee area, 3300 West Burleigh Street. We put the number up here if you want to call for more information. 414-873-6910. We also have an email address if you want to contact us for more information. It's fptmarriage@gmail.com. Fingerprinttomarriage@gmail.com. Alright. Once again, we thank everybody for tuning in. This is my wife, Brandy Penny, and my name is John. On behalf of Joshua Possessing and Promise International Ministries and Kevin Carter, we thank y'all. And y'all have a good one. God bless.
See you next week.